It's past 9 p.m. already, isn't it? I wonder if Mr. Edgeworth has already found Mystic Maya. It's been about 15 minutes, so, probably. These things take time. I'd say probably not. The police are professionals, Pearls. They'll find her, so don't you worry. And if we can win a not guilty verdict tomorrow, then everything will be okay. You're right. Alright, let's hit the streets. Wow, it's really getting late, isn't it, Mr. Nick? Yeah, it's past 9 p.m. already. But we still have some things to prepare for tomorrow's trial. There's still the matter of this secret Mr. Kurita held about Mr. Ungard. And Miss Andrews' real intentions. Those are two things I must know tonight. But aren't visiting hours over at the detention center? I'm sure we'll think of something, Pearls. Don't you worry. We'll have to break into the detention center. Probably not something that happens very often.
Hey, wait. What is it, whippersnapper? All I know is nothing that has anything to do with you is ever good. Like just now, I was handed this strange device for who knows what reason. And I was told to use it to search the whole hotel.
That's, the bug sweeper, isn't it? The one Gumshoe made?
I don't know, and frankly, I don't care, but the request came from Edgy Poo, so...
Edgeworth?
And he said...
If you feel angry, direct your anger at that unsophisticated lawyer.
So I'm going to feel free to direct all my anger towards you.
Ugh, gee, thanks a bundle, Edgeworth. What a pal you are.
This is absolutely top secret, so you'd better keep it to yourselves. I heard they found a spy camera hidden in one of the presents.
Whoa, that's crazy, dude. Very interesting.
I'm sure it was. You know. It was to catch poor Juan in the middle of a scandalous meeting.
Scandalous? What's that?
It means, well, you know, the gossips has been going around about my dear Juan.
Oh, you mean that thing about Miss Andrews? But I'm sure she must have had some reason for getting close to Mr. Kurita.
I'll let you in on another secret, youngin'. I know who planted that spy camera. It was that obnoxious, puffy-haired photographer girl, the nerve of some people. Spying on people by herself, as if I wouldn't want to see it for myself, too.
Wow, the alien actually admitted her true intentions for a change.
I don't know exactly what you're thinking, but I bet it's nothing good.
But I didn't say anything.
So you want to know about Juan and that manager, right? Actually, as I hear it, they were something of a refreshing pair, those two.
Oh?
I tell you, Juan really welcomed that manager with open arms, I heard.
That manager? Who are you talking about?
You don't know. That manager woman Juan had. It's a shame she killed herself, though.
Oh, you're talking about Miss Celeste Impax, Miss Andrews' mentor, right?
Yes, that's the one. That Celeste girl. She was supposed to get married, you know.
Married? You mean to Mr. Kurita?
Really, you young kids today don't know anything, do you? That girl Celeste killed herself 3 days after their marriage announcement.
3 days after their marriage announcement? What in the...
Why would Miss Impax want to kill herself? She was going to get married. Well, that's because she was thrown away, you see, by Juan.
What?
But they were going to get married, right? They promised each other, right? They held a grand announcement session, but 3 days later, Juan suddenly canceled their marriage.
Is that true?
It was in the weekly magazines.
So definitely true. But why? Why did he do that?
That was not in the magazines, unfortunately.
I see.
That night after Juan called off the wedding, that manager, Celeste, killed herself.
How terrible.
I wonder what happened between those two.
Alright, anyway, bye. On that night, there must have been at least a few hundred people here. I guess the police are done with their questioning and investigating. Looks like things in the lobby have finally calmed down. Good talk.
Feels sort of tense in here, doesn't it, Mr. Nick?
Yeah, it does. I wonder if something happened. You're Mr. Ungard's lawyer, right? Yes. Well, we finally just found the person we've been looking for. A real decisive witness. A decisive witness? You mean for the Ungard case? We're taking the witness's statement right now. Gotta hand it to Mr. Edgeworth. What's Edgeworth up to now?
Who is this witness?
I think you know this person quite well, Mr. Lawyer.
Mr. Nick?
Between the kidnapper's demand and now this, I can't see any way to win here. Oh yeah, Mr. Edgeworth wanted me to tell you something. He did? Even though visiting hours are long over at the detention center, he wanted me to grant you special permission, so there you go.
What?
I've already called them so they know. Go on, go talk to your heart's content. Thank you very much.
This is such good news, Mr. Nick.
Go talk to your heart's content. Sounds like the police are pretty sure they have tomorrow's trial in the bag. I don't know what that has to do with this, really, but okay. I'm sure they must have transferred Miss Andrews here by now. So that means... It's still daytime out. So that means Mr. Ungard and Miss Andrews are in the detention center. Now then, whose story do I want to hear? Adrian Andrews first. Oh, it's you. I'm sorry to be visiting at such a late hour. But there are a few questions I absolutely have to ask you tonight. Me? I thought your client... Whoops. I'm sure Miss Andrews knows something. She can't be clueless about the secret Mr. Kurita had on Mr. Ungard. I'd like to ask you about Matt Ungard, if you don't mind. Mr. Wright, you still don't know, do you? The real him, I mean. You seem to bear a lot of resentment towards Mr. Ungard. If that's the case, then why did you become his manager? And why would you become intimate with his rival? That has nothing to do with this case. Nothing. Of course, obviously. About Miss Celeste impacts, about the source of your trauma, real quick. I had finally put her death behind me, and now, thanks to you, it's all come back to the surface. I'm sorry, I didn't realize somebody was going to get murdered. That's my fault, I guess, you know. Yes, I was shocked by her suicide, and it's true that when I heard the rumor Juan was the one who had hidden her suicide note, I began to draw close to him. I wanted to get her suicide note back, and to burn it. You wanted to burn it? But why? I didn't want it to spread like just another piece of gossip, but I never held any murderous intent towards Juan. I would never do something so stupid. The suicide note, huh? I wonder what it said. Why did you try to frame Ungard? That's simple, because he's the killer. That's why. Isn't it the duty of every good citizen to inform the police? Well, yes, but typically you don't do it by planting evidence. That's a slightly advanced maneuver.
But there had to be another way.
The police are excellent at So they'd figure it out, right? Yes, they're so good that they couldn't figure out the real truth behind Celeste's death.
Miss Andrews.
Well, I know you're not the type of person to do something without a reason, so please tell me why you did what you did. She just did. Revenge.
Did you say something just now?
A psyche lock, huh? Don't you understand yet? You're not my lawyer. To be honest, you're more like my enemy.
But
I'm sure I just heard Miss Andrews say revenge. I doubt we can do this right now, but let's see what the question is. Can you please tell me why you framed Mr. Ungard for the murder? I've already told you countless times. It's because I thought Matt was the killer. No, that's not it. I know you have a personal reason to dislike Ungard. Miss Andrews, you may think I didn't hear it, but I know you said something earlier. You said revenge. So are you saying I was taking my revenge out on Matt, and that's why? What an absurd idea. I don't have anything I want to take revenge for. Miss Andrews, a woman who lives by being dependent on other people. There is something or someone in her past that would make her take revenge. Fuck, do I show Celeste? Oh, kind of surprised. Celeste. There is only one catalyst which would cause such strong feelings, and even revenge, and that's Miss Impax's suicide note. What are you trying to say? Celeste was Juan's manager. On top of that, the one who hid her suicide note was also Juan. What does all this have to do with Matt? You're right, you haven't mentioned him yet. But for you to hate Mr. Ungard, it would mean that he must have some relation to Miss Impax and her suicide. Can you explain this relationship between Celeste and Matt? Definitely not right now. No. I'll be back. How do I change you? Do I look at the guard? Yeah. No, okay. Do I leave and come back?
Doesn't look like Mr. Scruffy Detective is here.
Well, he's out with all the camera asking around all the electronic shops.
Then I'll make some salad for him for dinner.
Looks like Pearls really appreciates what Gumshoe is doing for us.
Mr. Nick.
Yes.
Where's the lettuce?
I don't think I've ever bought lettuce before.
Oh, I guess I have to give up on making a salad then.
Guess the lack of lettuce is kind of a problem. Yep, you obviously have to have that. So the real person who killed Mr. Kurita was
that assassin, Mr. Shelley the Killer, right?
And the card Miss Andrews found at the crime scene seems to be proof of that. But if that's the case, then a new question comes to mind. Who was the one that hired the killer to begin with? Who is his client? Well, again, you see, there's realistically only two options, isn't there? So...
You mean, who asked for the murder?
That person didn't want to dirty their own hands in blood, but whoever this client is, they're still a killer.
Who? Who could have hired the assassin? Do you think it was Miss Andrews?
I wonder. But if she was the client, then why go through the effort to stab the knife into the corpse herself?
But if Miss Andrews wasn't the client, then no, it can't be.
Matt Ungard himself. If only you weren't so stupid, you would realize we saw the assassin in Ungard's house. But you know, you apparently can't remember the most distinctive person you've ever met in your life.
If Mr. Ungard really did hire the assassin,
then he is not innocent at all. Far from it, he would be guilty of the crime.
But it can't be Mr. Ungard, right?
If only we hadn't seen the assassin in Ungard's house.
I mean, when we first talked with him.
Mr. Ungard, I'd like to ask you, did you kill Juan? Yeah, again, you asked, did you kill Juan? I didn't see any psyche locks at the time. Actually, that reminds me.
Do you remember something, Mr. Nick?
Yeah, something Miss Andrews said at the trial today. She said something interesting.
What is this interesting thing?
Oh, that's right, you didn't hear it, did you, Pearls? Juan had bet everything on the Jammin' Ninja. He was gonna make sure Matt was going down with him. Looks like somehow Juan had in his hands a secret so powerful it would destroy Matt's acting career.
Mr. Ungard's secret? What is this secret?
I don't know yet. But for now, let's think about it this way. Mr. Kurita was going to reveal his secret. That means Mr. Ungard had plenty of motive to have Mr. Kurita silenced. Which means we have to meet with Ungard. There's no way around it now. Yeah, can I see him now?
Dude, it's Mr. Wright. I hope you can get me off the hook tomorrow. I'm counting on you.
I hope so too. Edgeworth just dropped a bombshell on me by saying that Juan Kurita was killed by an assassin, and the assassin's client is this man, Matt Ungard.
What's wrong?
Mr. Ungard, there's something I must know with 100% certainty.
You seem kind of different. You're totally not like your usual self, lawyer dude.
About the press conference.
You mean the one where Juan was gonna dress up as the Nickel Samurai?
Yeah, I heard a little more about it from Miss Andrews. Looks like somehow Juan had his yeah. Could you please fill me in on what this secret is, please? Ugh. I knew this was coming.
Mr. Nick, don't tell me. Psyche locks.
Is that a secret, right? But I don't have any idea what it is. Do you, dude? Did you know anything about Mr. Krita and Miss Andrews' relationship? Well, it's all over the tabloids, dude. But I don't know any of the details, if that's what you mean. Look, how many times do I have to tell you? I don't care what Juan did with his life. Miss Andrews, she had a purpose in mind when she started seeing Mr. Krita. Her mentor was Mr. Krita's manager, and Miss Andrews was going to get Miss Celeste Impact's suicide note from him. Celeste? Does that jog any memories? Dude, I suddenly just got totally hungry. You up for some pizza, my treat?
Oh, Mr. Nick, what's our peas are? Is it like a kind of pea, like green peas?
Let's go eat one later, okay? Ugh, I got cut off by the pizza dude at the shop. That's too bad. Well, how about we get our minds off this topic and talk about something else, okay? Uh-huh. Mr. Ungard, are you connected to Miss Impact's suicide in some way? A true mystery. What if I show you Celeste? Mr. Ungard? Dude, I know I asked you to be my lawyer and all, but I don't think I have to tell you anything and everything. What do you mean by that? Just means I don't have anything to tell. I don't have to tell you anything and everything, dude. Sus. About your butler, dude. About this person. He's, Is he? No, Pearl, shut up! We could have baited him.
He's your butler, right? Mr. John Doe, right? We met him at your mansion.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He's a pretty cool dude who can do lots of things. He takes real good care of me.
God damn it, Pearl.
Alright. Hey, about this card. Kinda scared to show him this card. What's wrong, dude? Oh, so about this picture card. Have you ever seen this before? Nope, never saw it before in my life, dude. I don't think he's lying. Or is he? Then again, he looked like he gasped just now. Maybe I'm seeing things. How suspicious. Alright, I really doubt we can get through 5 psyche locks, but let's give it a look. Now, let's see what this secret of yours is. What if Mr. Krita had been successful in his plan? What would he have disclosed? I told you before, dude, I don't know. I don't know anything about Juan, okay? Look, Mr. Wright, I can keep on saying it till I'm blue in the face, but I totally didn't pay Juan any attention the whole time that night. I mean, come on, I was in the middle of a nap. Don't lie to me. Huh? I know you paid close attention to Mr. Krita, especially on that night. Can't be done. Excuse me. Oh, Mr. Wright, please, you have to help me. Uh-oh. Mr. Powers?
What happened? Why are you here?
You see, I got roped into this somehow.
What?
Now I'm gonna testify at tomorrow's trial. So the decisive witness is Mr. Powers. I was talking with a detective until a little while ago when I was on my way home. When all of a sudden, you're under arrest, and I was brought back here. Oh. They said my face and whole self in general looked suspicious or something. Well, I guess I can see how they thought you looked suspicious. I'm just a normal guy on an exercise show for kids. Is that a crime? Depends. Could be. So about this testimony you're giving... Why did I say it like that? What are you going to talk about? I really don't know yet. But it sounds like I saw something pretty important from what they tell me. You saw something important? What was it? Well, the detective told me not to talk about it. You can't tell anyone, especially not that lawyer, he said.
Who do you think is that lawyer the detective was talking about?
I'm gonna take a wild guess and say it's me. Yeah, you got it.
Mr. Nick. Mystic Maya and myself are your only two allies in this whole world, but it's alright.
We got Gumshoe. Ouch. I don't really have a lot of friends, do I? This is gonna do a lot of damage to Matt, you know. Because he's got that refreshing like a spring breeze image going. But what is he really like? Well, let's see. Matt's always been kind of a player with women. He would never really turn a pretty face away, if you know what I mean. He'd always say it's just a game to justify himself.
What? How horrible. That's unforgivable.
Oh, sorry. Didn't mean to offend you. But you know, he said once that there's only one person in the world who won't swoon over me. One person who wouldn't swoon over him. His manager, you know, Miss Adrian Andrews. Why is Mr. Power suddenly looking kind of energetic? Ah, you see, I'm actually a sucker for gossip. I mean, celebrities in their world have this dazzling sort of image, right? A dazzling sort of image? But aren't you a part of that dazzle, Mr. Powers? No, I'm more of a hairy, sweaty, smelly, brutish kind of guy, you see. Dude, stop being so rude. But it's okay, really. I get to hear plenty of gossip about the other stars around me as things happen. Well, that's true. Oh, hey, so did you hear about this yet? About Miss Andrews' mentor and her suicide note? You mean Miss Impax?
We heard something about how her wedding was cancelled.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I thought about it a little the other day, about that mysterious death. Hey, Mr. Wright, why didn't you ask me about that? Go on, go ahead. Mr. Powers is so charged up, his skin is practically glowing with electricity. He does have a Blanca vibe. So, have you heard this? Celeste left a suicide note. And they say Juan went and hid it. We heard about that in court today. But there wasn't any actual proof that she had left a note. Well, this is what I think. I think that something bad was written on that note. Something bad for Juan, that is. Well, yeah, if he hid it, that would be the logical conclusion, wouldn't it?
Something bad for Mr. Kurita.
Why do you figure so? Well, before she died, Celeste talked with a few of her friends. And she said, it looks like I got caught up with a truly insidious man. A truly insidious man? Did she mean Mr. Kurita by that? Well, there's no one else that fits the bill, right? And that would be reason enough for him to hide the suicide note. I see. Well, that's some good info, thank you. You're welcome. Mr. Ungard and Miss Andrews, they're both at the detention center right now. There are still things I don't understand or know about, I'm sure. I have to get the two of them to tell me everything.
Mr. Nick, your phone.
Hey, that's the Steel Samurai theme song, isn't it? I don't like the sound of this ringtone right now. It sounds kind of ominous. Yeah, I know. Hello? We're in trouble, pal. I'll be right back at the office really soon. What's wrong? Something really unexpected just happened. Mr. Edgeworth, Edgeworth? Anyway, hurry up and get back to the office, pal. I don't know what's going on anymore. It's not good. Hello? He got cut off.
What's going on, Mr. Nick?
Gumshoe said we need to go back to the office right away.
But we should hurry back.
I'm scared to go back.
What are you talking about, Mr. Nick? Put yourself together.
Maybe it'll be good news. Somehow, I doubt that. It's never good news, Powers. This is not how it goes. What took you so long, pal? Mr. Edgeworth couldn't stick around forever and had to go. Well, what happened? We got him. We know who bought the spy camera.
Eh?
This quickly? And this bear's what gave them away, pal. The bear. I figured it out, pal. I figured that would have been looking into the bear. We should have been looking into the bear instead of the camera. Ah, yes, you definitely did.
Wasn't it Mr. Edgeworth?
Shh, Pearls. And, go on. There's only one person who bought one of those bears who's related to this crime.
Who is it? Who would be so rude as to spy on another person in their room?
Matt Ungard.
Huh?
Matt Ungard, your client. That's who, pal. And here I thought things couldn't get any worse. Are you sure you heard right? That's the person who bought this bear? I heard it from the department store clerk, pal. This is the credit card receipt for the purchase. It's for $3,800, pal. That's the exact match to the price of that stuffed bear. A receipt? That's all you have? Nah, it's not just the receipt, pal. The store clerk said so himself. He said, I'm sure I sold the bear to Mr. Ungard. Now, of those two things, the receipt is definitely better evidence, but... I mean, the clerk even got Mr. Ungard's autograph out of it, pal. So I'm sure the person that bought the stuffed bear was Mr. Ungard himself. My sight's failing me. This can't be. So what about the spy camera we found? That was a dead end, pal. I mean, you can get this kind of thing from anywhere. But for now, I guess I can give these back to you to file away into evidence. I know you don't want to give up, pal. I never thought. I didn't think it was possible. The person who put the spy camera in Juan Corrida's room was Matt Ungard.
Why? Why would Mr. Ungard do something like this?
I bet it was to catch Miss Andrews and Mr. Corrida in one of their rendezvous. I bet is not good enough for me. I have to know the absolute truth behind this camera. Are you gonna go see him, Mr. Ungard, I mean? Yes.
I'm scared, Mr. Nick. I wonder what we will find out next.
I'm scared myself, but I have to put on a good face for pearls. Matt Ungard, what in the world have you done? He's a nasty crime boy. To the detention center.
You're working really late, you know? It's already past 9 p.m., dude.
I think it's time you told me the truth.
Relax, don't you know what ignorance is bliss? But if you really want to know, let's talk.
Nothing else opened up, right? Yeah. Observe the spy camera. Someone used this camera to secretly film Mr. Corrida's room the night of the murder.
Secretly film? What?
And then sent the images the camera took with this transmitter.
Wow, but dude, where was this camera you're talking about hidden?
The spy camera was hidden in this bear's eye. A bear that was supposed to be a present from a fan.
I guess Juan had a few of those kinds of fans too, huh, dude?
Actually, I wouldn't say this bear was a present from a fan.
You sure, dude? Who else could it be from?
Observe your own face. Mr. Ungard, don't you know this bear from someone? What's wrong with me?
I don't think I've ever met Mr. Bear before, dude.
Aw, but he says he knows you. How could you forget such a great friend? Wow, how's...
Phoenix said that?
What? That doesn't sound like the sort of thing Phoenix would say. What else did the bear tell you? He says that the one who put the camera in his eye was you, Mr. Ungard.
If I didn't know how you work in court, I'd think I was in serious trouble. Come on, this is all just a joke, right, dude? You're just pulling my leg.
Looks like you're not ready to give up your secret yet.
Well, do you have any proof you want to show me first?
No, wrong side. Where's the receipt? I have here one credit card receipt, Mr. Ungard. It's from when you bought that stuffed bear.
Dude, all you can tell from this is that I spent $3,800. I go to that department store all the time, okay? That $3,800, this could be the toothbrush I bought that one time.
A $3,800 toothbrush?
It's ivory, and it's got elephant hair for bristles.
That's pretty cringe, dude. Ew, elephant hair. Is that what rich people use nowadays? Anyway, the store clerk clearly remembers you and your purchase. After all, you even gave him an autograph, did you not?
Dude, you should have said that earlier. So, can I ask you one thing?
Yeah.
You're my lawyer, right, dude? So if you are, then why are you looking into stuff like that?
Because if I don't know the truth, I can't help you.
Sounds more like stupid lawyer talk to me. Hey, let's stop talking about this, okay?
No, not yet. I haven't asked why you set the camera up yet. And what your secret is. Of course, it would be strictly confidential.
So, what are you gonna do now?
I'm going to find out what I want to know, because I must. The reason you hid this camera in Mr. Corrida's in Mr. Kurita's room and filmed it in secret is... What do you want me to present for this? The press conference ticket? Or do I present, like, Celeste? No, it's probably the suicide note thing, right? I'm trying to think exactly how to say this because... Well... The answer we're driving at right now is that he was trying to film Juan meeting Andrews. But the actual reason's a bit more sinister than that. But, you know, that's what we're going to right now, I'm pretty sure. Do I present Adrian? The newspaper that has the thing with Juan? Adrian Andrews. Okay, great job, me. There were like several pieces of things I could think of to present, and I was like, which one is the actual answer? Because they all kind of say the same thing. There's a rumor going around that Miss Andrews and Mr. Kurita were having secret meetings. You, who was keeping tabs on Mr. Kurita, you were going to reveal this as fact and turn it into a scandal. Isn't that right? Dude, you can be such a moron. Oh man, Mr. Lawyer dude, that kind of scandal? That's the good stuff. That's what we in the industry call juicy. The good stuff? Juicy? Look, we can get publicity without spending a penny with that kind of stuff. I mean, if people stop paying attention to us, then it'd be the end, dude. Too bad that wasn't your intention. What are you talking about? I wish your reason for spying was something so innocent, but it wasn't. You didn't spy on Mr. Kurita because of Miss Andrews. There's only one other reason I can think of for you to do such a thing. The real reason you set up in the camera in Mr. Kurita's room was... Shelley's card? Because the answer is to record his death. Or more specifically, make sure Shelley did it. What is this card? Maybe he doesn't know about this card. This is a certain man's calling card. The man's name is Shelley the Killer, and I'm sure you know of him, don't you? Shelley? The Killer? That's ridiculous. Why would I know some shady scumbag like him? If you really don't know, then why are you acting so jumpy all of a sudden? This is it. I'm finally starting to get to the truth. I can't afford to make any more mistakes now. Mr. Matt Ungard, I know why, you know, I'm gonna say, I can't save, it's too late. It's because you're his client. Since you're the one who set that camera up, that means you knew. You knew exactly what was going to happen in that room. So how? How would you know something like that? It's because you're his client. That's why. You hired Shelley the Killer to assassinate Mr. Juan Kurita. The real mastermind behind this whole murder is you, Matt Ungard. Sigh. And here I was trying to be a good boy for you, dude. I thought if you didn't know, you'd be able to do your job without feeling bad. Well, that's what I thought anyway. Mr. Ungard, you really did hire? Hold on a sec. I'm gonna consult myself, okay? Sometimes I call myself just in Discord just to see what a real one has to say. Well, I guess it's probably about time anyway. About time for what? I think it's time for you to meet him now, Mr. Lawyer Dude. How do you do, Mr. Lawyer? I'm Matt Ungard. Sick model swap, bro. Well done, Mr. Lawyer. I bet it wasn't easy to gather as much information as you have. You really So you really are Shelley DeKiller's client? You didn't really think I would dirty my own hands in this, did you?
What do you mean?
And that woman, Adrian was quite brave herself. Trying to stick the crime on me. I didn't think she had it in her. But all I care about is that Juan's dead. Isn't that right, Mr. Lawyer? Hey, guard, if you could, not listen for a few minutes, that'd be great.
You're lying. What a terrible...
It's way past your bedtime, little girl. Go on and let us grown-ups talk about more adult things.
But why? Why did you hide the video camera in?
A weakling soon believes the words of others, just like that pathetic Adrian. He knew about Miss Andrews' secret, but I'm no weakling. I don't believe anyone, least of all assassins. What? Oh, come now, Mr. Wright. Assassins aren't above blackmail. They turn their clients into cash cows by holding the sinful deed over their heads. And a superstar like me, how much do you think I'm worth? Care to guess?
And that's why?
Yes, that's where the video comes in. It's got his face and the crime recorded on it, preserved for all time. With that, I can keep him at bay and even blackmail him if I want to. That's right, that video is my insurance. Isn't that what they call it, Mr. Wright?
Why would you do something so wrong?
Because I'm a grown-up, and I can. Good enough of an answer for you, little girl?
Why? Why'd you kill Mr. Kurita?
Because he was about to sling so much dung onto my beautiful public image. Scandals are a little annoying, aren't they? This is all because of that press conference, isn't it?
If Mr. Kurita had been able to give it, then Mr. Ungard's secret would have...
Ah, well, that's what we call taking advantage of the situation, you know. I had no interest in doing it, really, but bit by bit it crept up on me. And then the situation just presented itself perfectly. How beautiful, I thought.
And that's how Mr. Kurita ended up dead.
Let me tell you something. I'm not like Adrian. I don't depend on anyone. People are simply things to be used and thrown away. Put on a sweet, innocent face and people will swallow anything you feed them. Adrian fell for it. The assassin too. Oh, and how can I forget? Even you fell for it, Mr. Lawyer. Everyone, all working their butts off for me. Matt Ungard. Aw, did that leave you speechless? What a shame. What's wrong, Mr. Lawyer? You've grown awfully quiet. How could I have been deceived by you all this time? When we first met, I asked if you'd killed Juan Kurita, and you answered very clearly you hadn't killed anyone. Hey now, I never told you any lies. The person who did the killing was that DeKiller guy, right? All I'm guilty of is taking a cat nap in my room. You
killed Mr. Kurita.
I dare you to say that in court tomorrow. Aha, but too bad. You can't. You're my lawyer after all, aren't you? You could always drop my case and refuse to represent me. How does that sound? Oh, but you can't, can you? That would be one thing you absolutely can't do.
Mr. Meyer.
You wouldn't want to test DeKiller. He's a man of his word, or so I hear. You could end up getting a certain friend of yours rubbed out if you lose.
You scoundrel.
So if I were you, Mr. Wright, Esquire, I think I would give it my all tomorrow. Remember, everyone likes a happy win-win resolution.
I'll get you for this.
That's such a cliché phrase. Juan said something just like that, if memory serves. Of course, well, we all know how things turned out for him, don't we? Good night, Mr. Lawyer. Maya, Maya, what am I supposed to do? And now you finally found it. The starting line of this case. Edgeworth. I don't care for the horrid atmosphere here. Let's return to the precinct. Well, Wright, what are you gonna do? If you plan on changing your strategy.
No, we can't do that.
That's right. He's holding Maya hostage. What should I do? That's not something I can answer for you.
Mr. Edgeworth.
Right. Only you can decide where to go from here. 1 year ago, at that time, I didn't truly understand what a prosecutor was. And that's why I had to leave the prosecutor's office. I felt that I couldn't stand in a court of law until I knew what a prosecutor really was. And now, Wright, it's your turn. My turn? What is this thing called a lawyer? What can you do as one? You must find the answer, and you must find it on your own. I'm a lawyer, but to fight for someone who is clearly a killer, Matt Ungard, that man is really... It doesn't matter who, every person deserves a proper defense and a fair trial. Isn't that the basis of our judicial system? Proper defense? But what exactly is that? Is it where a lawyer forcibly and blindly gets an acquittal for shouting and trickery? Ironic that you of all people should say such a thing. Isn't that exactly how you fought for your clients up until now? Well, that may be true, but that's because I believed my clients to be innocent from the bottom of my heart. But if I were to get Ungard an acquittal, that isn't a proper defense at all. Well, it is. Strictly speaking, your job isn't to prove the person is innocent. It's to make sure that the prosecution can adequately prove the person's guilt, which, you know, is not technically the same thing. Yeah, it's a finicky subject. I became a lawyer because I thought I could save people who were suffering and in pain. But when I look at this mess we're in, I can't even protect the person closest to me. Even if I win the case, I still lose in the end. I just don't know what to do. Right. Would you get a hold of yourself? You have it all wrong. Huh? We aren't some sort of heroes. We're only human, you and I. You want to save someone? That's something easier said than done, wouldn't you say? You are a defense attorney. You can't run away from that. You can only fight. That's all you can do. People like you and Franziska von Karma are always using all you have to pin me down. You fight to the very end, even when you know the truth is not with you. But I'm not like you. I can't fight for a false verdict, for a man I clearly know to be guilty. Franziska. She fights for herself. The only thing she fights for is her perfect win record. That's all. And, isn't that the same as you? Isn't that why you ran away a year ago? Because your precious win record was destroyed? You're so petty. Nick, have you, never spoken to Edgeworth? Do you not remember, the whole, last 3 cases that involved this guy? I see. Now I understand why you despise me so. However, you're mistaken. Thanks to you, when you sealed off my path to a perfect win record, I began to realize the error of my ways. I realized that things such as a perfect record were meaningless. What? I don't believe you. Are you saying that is why you left the prosecutor's office? But then why? Why are you here now? The answer to that is something you will find out on your own. I have faith you will see it before the verdict is read tomorrow. But if you can't, then you will be powerless to change the ending of this story.
Mr. Nick, the transceiver.
I'm sorry for what happened earlier. Now then, Mr. Attorney, do you wager you can obtain an acquittal tomorrow? My. What is the matter, Mr. Attorney? I don't sense your usual anger this time. Tell me, please, why are you holding Maya hostage for Unguard's sake? Why are you doing this for that cold-blooded killer? Do you not know who you're talking to right now? Right. Please don't misunderstand things. He is my client. Don't toy with me. A man who hires an assassin is just as much of a killer himself. I believe you are asking me for the reason as to why I am doing what I am. Yeah. Well, this is what I like to call my aftercare. What the heck is aftercare? My name carries a certain amount of honor and dignity, Mr. Attorney. I take great care to ensure that no suspicion falls upon my clients for my handiwork. That is what is called client relations, and it is a part of an assassin's duty. An assassin's duty? We were unlucky this time, and my client was arrested as a suspect. As a result, I did what I had to do to enlist your expert help, Mr. Attorney, and to ensure that you would do everything in your power to the very end. What is your name? I believe I told you once before. However, you did, but my name is De Killer. Shelley De Killer. You're Shelley De Killer? Please keep in mind you do not have much space to maneuver with me. As a De Killer, I always finish what I set out to do. If you fail to keep up your end of the bargain, Maya, it would be my duty as an assassin to see to it she receives a nice long nap.
No.
Now then, if you'll excuse me. If someone were to trace this signal back to me, it would be quite troublesome. Just in case you didn't know, there's the meow.
Mystic Maya.
I don't know what to say. Edgeworth. Did you hear that? At the end of the transmission. Oh, that sounded like a cat. A cat. It can't be. The cat? That cat. Can it? What is it? I think I know where Shelley De Killer is holding Maya hostage. Edgeworth, have all the police units head for Unguard Mansion immediately. Alright, you hurry over as well then. Don't lose hope yet, Pearls. The fight's only just begun. Yeah. If only Phoenix wasn't so fucking stupid. Oh, that's awkward, isn't it? Music just cut out like that. There we go.
Maya. Please answer us, Mystic Maya.
We have this area completely surrounded. There's no way for him to escape. Assuming he's still in the area. I can't believe it. That butler, the most distinctive-looking person I've ever met. All this time, he was the killer. He and Unguard were working together all this time. I'm sure they had worked out a contingency plan ahead of time. There's a small door at the bottom of this bigger door, Mr. Nick. I bet it's for the cat to use.
Oh, you mean shoe?
Yeah. Fuck, okay. Oh, there's a bear here.
Oh, it's a figurine of a bear.
But there are a lot of cuts in it for some reason. A bear? Isn't that more of a thing for Mr. Kurita? Why would something like that be here? Right, look down. There's a little pet door installed here.
Ah, I'm sure that's for shoe.
Do you think this came through that little door? This door. It's locked. Well, I'm pretty used to breaking down doors by now. Let's go, Edgeworth.
Slam.
There's no one here. From the looks of this room, I would say this is Unguard's private lounge. Look at this, Wright. An antenna for sending and receiving radio signals, and a VCR. Check inside the deck. If there's a tape, it would be an important piece of evidence. If we're lucky, it'll have the moment the crime was committed recorded on it. I'm sorry, but the tape deck is empty. There's no tape to be found.
No.
But there's no mistake. Someone used this to record something. Looks like someone took the tape we were looking for and escaped with it. Can I go into the other room? Yes. We've searched all over, but it looks like he got away. I'm sorry. It looks like he slipped out of our grasp this time. And now, we've lost our only lead. Don't give up yet. That little girl is looking for you to be her pillar. Yeah, you're right. We're close, I can tell. We've already set up checkpoints along every route leading out of this district. Leave the rest to us. Maya. This looks like a picture of Miss Impax. With love, Celeste.
Miss Impax, you mean?
Yeah, Mr. Kurita's former manager.
Why would a picture of Miss Impax be in Mr. Enguard's mansion?
And why does it say with love? This might be a clue. Big ups to Maya, being kidnapped and still leaving evidence around for us.
Oh.
What's wrong, Pearls?
Please let me look at that picture frame.
Huh? What's so special about the frame?
On the back. There's something written on the back of the frame.
Maya.
It's Mystic Maya. She left us a message.
What? I thought you'd come. I knew you would. Now listen up. You'd better get Enguard a guilty sentence, okay? If you get that creepy slime bag I'm not guilty, I'll never forgive you ever. I'm fine, so you don't need to worry about me. There's so much I want to write, but I don't think I have a lot of time left. Pearly, you're there too, right? Make sure you help Nick, okay? Someone's got to watch out for the helpless lunk. It's me, Lonk. That's it for now, Nick. I guess I'll talk to you guys later.
That's... Oh, no. Mystic Maya.
What's wrong? Why the blank stare? Oh, nothing. We've searched the house, and this is the last room. It looks like he eluded us. Edgeworth. Yes. As far as clues go, I think this is about all I'm going to get. But I'm still short one last thing. And what is that? Miss Andrews' psyche lock. If I could just find out what secret she's holding, then I think I stand a chance in court tomorrow. To blow this case wide open and expose the truth. Like, we already know the truth at this point, though, don't we? I think I know what you're thinking. I'll contact the detention center. Thanks, Edgeworth. Well, let's go, Pearls. It's time to open that last lock. Good evening, Mr. Wright. What's wrong? You look ill. Miss Andrews, I've come to remove your psyche lock. Please do not ask me to elaborate on this. Psyche lock? I want to know, and you will tell me. Your secret. Fine, go ahead. Try to break me if you can. Boy, would that dialogue sound weird if you took it out of context. Can you please tell me why you framed Mr. Enguard? I already told you. It's because I thought Matt was the killer. No, that's not it. I know you have a personal reason. Miss Andrews, you may think I didn't hear it, but I know what you said earlier. You said revenge. Wait, no, we read this already. Alright. No. Celeste first, right? Yeah. Observe. This is a photo of Miss Impax, correct? She looks younger than when she passed away. What? With love, Celeste. This is Miss Impax's handwriting, isn't it? There's no way we could know that, but sure. Where did you find this? No, that's alright. It was a rhetorical question. Yeah, it is. I found this at Mr. Enguard's mansion. And after all this time, my last remaining secret has been revealed. Celeste, she was supposed to get married to Juan. Yes, but I heard that it didn't work out.
Because Mr. Corrida didn't want to get married to her anymore, right?
Yes, because of Matt.
But because of Matt, Mr. Ungard? What do you mean?
I think I can see where this is going. Celeste, she was Matt's manager a long time ago. She was the happiest woman in the world at the time. I was working part-time back then, and I often saw the two of them together. So that's why, "With love, Celeste" is written on the frame of that picture. They were a couple, weren't they? It wasn't anything as splendid as that. Celeste was being used. Toyed with until she was thrown away.
That's so horrible.
Matt's entire images were built around how nice and wonderful a man he is. A scandal would have destroyed that. Which is why Celeste, in her kindness, moved over to Worldwide Studios. And that's where she met Juan. She seemed really happy with him, even happier than when she was with Matt. Celeste and Juan were such a good match they were even planning to get married. And then, it was suddenly called off. On the night Juan called off their marriage, Celeste, she killed herself. And that's why I framed Matt. It was a revenge for Celeste and for myself. I'm sure even you can guess why Juan called the wedding off, right? Matt confessed to Juan about his relationship with Celeste. I see, so that's what happened.
But then why did Mr. Corrida have to call off the wedding? I don't understand at all.
It was probably because of his worthless male pride. Juan and Matt were always fierce rivals. Matt waited for the wedding announcement and then unleashed the truth on Juan. He was aiming for when it would hurt Juan the most.
Poor Miss Impacts.
That wasn't the end of it. That day, I'm almost certain Celeste left a suicide note behind. And in that note, she left a detailed account of Matt's various misdeeds, and so that she would never again be hurt by Matt, she chose to die. Then, when Juan discovered her body, he hid her note.
But why would he do that?
It's simple. Juan realized that note was a powerful weapon against Matt, and it would be especially damaging to his refreshing like a spring breeze image. In any case, with his pride hurt, Juan sought revenge. Revenge. There's that word again. Juan wanted to publicly disclose the contents of that suicide note. At a time that would cause Matt the most damage, of course. And that was at the press conference after the stage show. I know all about it because I heard it all from Juan. It was so I could find out about all this and drew close to Juan to begin with. They're quite a pair of hideous monsters, aren't they? Even Celeste's death was something for them to use in their game. That night when I found Juan's body, it was only natural that I thought the murderer was Matt. Those two were always spying on one another after all. As for me, I was frantically searching for Celeste's suicide note. I wanted to destroy it before it ever went public. I was gonna burn it. I even bought a lighter. But I couldn't find the suicide note, and that's when revenge crossed my mind. Yes, I was going to bring them my own kind of cruel revenge. Celeste was killed by those two monsters. So when I stabbed Juan's body with that knife, I didn't feel a single shred of guilt. Well, to be fair, he's a dead body. I don't think I would have felt especially guilty over it either. It's not like he's alive anymore at that point. And that's all I have to say. I wonder if that makes me a psychopath. Was that a weird thing to say? It's like, if it's a dead body, what's the big deal, you know? It's not like he's gonna get hurt. It's not like you're gonna hurt him. He's already dead. Well, Mr. Wright, even knowing all this, are you still going to help that man? I'm a lawyer. I see. What a foul profession. Thank you very much for your time and for talking with me. It was no big deal. I couldn't sleep anyway. It is the middle of the day if I look out the window. I can't sleep either, not with my situation, or with what I know now. Dun dun dun.